Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the Achiever in You. Welcome to Our Region's Business with your host, Bill Flanagan.
Well, today on Our Region's Business, our focus is on acceleration, accelerating the growth of our regional economy by identifying and nurturing promising new companies and fueling them with sufficient capital to get them going. We'll learn more about our region's near record year when it comes to attracting venture capital. And we'll find out why the search for capital took one local startup right into the Shark Tank. But first, there are so many great ideas around here that there just isn't enough money to make all of them a reality. Now the Pittsburgh Technology Council is setting out to do something about it by launching a new nonprofit called FortyX80. The idea is to take more of our region's promising early-stage companies to meet the money in New York, Boston, and the West Coast. Audrey Russo is back with us. She's president of the Pittsburgh Technology Council and president as well of the new startup, FortyX80. Mike Embrescia participated in one of the first forays to New York in December. He's founder and CEO of a startup called WorkDesq. And welcome. Good to have you both here.
So glad.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome back. So Audrey, I kind of said it in the intro, but there's some money around here, but it just never seems to be enough given all that's happening here. Is that really what this is all about?
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And that's the reason why we decided to take a focus, calling it 40x80, which is essentially the longitude and latitude of Pittsburgh. To really look closer at what some of these companies are that are not able to get the money that they really need to launch or to catapult. And so we're focusing on that. We're really taking a deep dive and making sure that we're cultivating those relationships, making sure that Pittsburgh is not a flyover zone. And as you know, and as I'm sure many of your followers know, that there's been a lot of growth in this region. And there's been a lot of technology and ideas and innovation in biotech as well that are not getting funded and not getting the opportunities to have the kind of seasoned expertise that we need to take these companies. So many people want to stay here. They want to stay, they want to build their companies. They love what's happening here in the region. You can see the proliferation of the growth in almost any aspect of the city and beyond. And we need to make sure that we cultivate these relationships so people know what kinds of talent are here, what kinds of opportunities really are here.
Yeah, it was really, I got to see it firsthand actually in New York because I was fortunate to get to participate in a little piece of what you did when you took a group up there to meet with all the VCs, and we helped with a little panel for the New York media.
Right.
But I was struck by what one of the VCs said, and even the media, and speaking of this flyover country issue, they basically said, yeah, we understand there's great things out there, but we're never going to go out exploring for them. Thank you. They literally thanked you for bringing these companies to New York. So there seems to be a market opportunity here if we're willing to reach out.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So I think the exciting thing is that, we have with us Mike, and, he can actually talk firsthand about the kinds of things that we do.
Yeah, how about, because you went to New York. You were with a bunch that went up there, a whole bunch of companies. So it's a really promising start.
I believe there were 10 of us total that had the opportunity of going up to New York, and it was a collaboration between the Allegheny Conference and the Tech Council when 40x80 was really in its infancy.
And so what did you get out of it? Do you think there's legs in what Audrey's cooked up here on the board of the Tech Council?
Tremendous, tremendous. I went up there with my business, WorkDesq, and it's an online platform where businesses hire freelancers. And technical freelancers, web designers, web developers, software engineers, etc. And we had launched our alpha product in August, and really at the early stages of trying to test out the product, to test out the thesis that we'd put out there. And clearly when you're launching a business, you need so many things. You need guidance, you need support, you need a great team, you need a great product, but you also need that access to capital, because there is a lengthy product roadmap that you want to develop. The Tech Council was putting together this New York City trip, and when I caught wind of it, it was a no-brainer. I needed that opportunity to think about the opportunity to sit before 7 or 8 VCs.
Just one after the other, kind of
one after the other.
Yeah.
It was, I liken it to a Shark Tank when you're standing in front of 2 or 3 at one time. We did this 7 or 8 VC. One after the other after the other. It was an arduous day. It was a tremendous day, but we would not have had that opportunity unless we had latched onto this trip.
Well, it's cool. You get a chance to practice your pitch. You get to hear how a bunch of different investors react, and maybe you get some of them to actually give you some money. Or
and I will submit that pitch number 1 was a lot different than pitch number 8. So,
that's part of the learning
you
experience.
improve that over time.
I would hope. I would hope. There's a learning curve in there. So is that the whole? Is that what this is going to be about? Taking companies out, trying to bring VCs here?
It's going to be everything. It's going to include the relationship that we have with the Allegheny Conference in terms of strategy around their deep, passion and expertise in site selection and communications and getting, the actual word out about Pittsburgh. But it's not just as easy as a marketing plan. It's really about developing these deeper relationships. So with the existing outposts that exist with Carnegie Mellon, for example, out in Moffett Field in Silicon Valley and in New York, we already have, some anchors that we can further leverage. The money comes, we know where the money comes. We know the active investors. We know how, the local investors do whatever they can to try to invest, locally. But their job is also to get a good return on those investments. So they're always looking. And you can't really just count on the few anchor investors that we have locally. And they've been, incredible in terms of what they've invested in and the kinds of, companies that they're mentoring and trying to open up their relationships with potential customers and, seasoned advisors. We just can't be insular. The world is global, and it's important that we understand our customers everywhere. We understand the kinds of things people invest in everywhere. We have the opportunity for being in front of consumers. It's even though it's online, and even though, the relationships could be business to business and business to consumer, it's important to be talking and connecting with other people in adjacent markets. So what we're seeing here in Pittsburgh that's really the great opportunity is this density, this new form density. This density meaning the kind of clusters and companies that people are building. It's good to have more of the same and people who are working in these markets. And the more we can do that, the more attractive we become.
Makes a lot of sense. Only about 30 seconds left, Mike, but I wonder, are you seeing it? Are you seeing sort of this growth of entrepreneurial ecology here in Pittsburgh? Is this the place to be? Yeah?
Without a doubt. As we discussed before we went on the air, I'm a transplant, born in Cleveland, grew up primarily Cleveland and Erie, so I'm a Lake Erie guy. Moving here 8 years ago, it was a different Pittsburgh. And lately we've heard about the next Pittsburgh, or where Pittsburgh's evolving to be. Pittsburgh is here. It's back. And for my business was born here. We're going to grow my business here, and it will prosper here. And it's through services like this that would help bring it to the forefront, because we need that.
All right, 40 by 80. Everybody, look here, right, Audrey? That's
look
the slogan.
Here,
excellent. Audrey Russo from the Pittsburgh Technology Council and 40 by 80. Mike Embrescia, his startup's called WorkDesq. Thank you both so much. Good luck with the effort.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And next up, why the smart money is already beginning to seek out our region. Stay with us.